we're going to take a look at two methods for rationalizing or simplifying complex rational expression. And a complex rational expression is one that has fractions in the denominator. So method one says first find the LCM of all denominators. So what is going to be the least common multiple of all of our denominators? Well, this one has an A, this one has a B, also an A, and also a B here. So remember, the least common multiple is the GCF times all the leftovers, right? So the greatest common factor is what they have in common, and really there isn't much that any of them have in common, so they all have a 1 in common. The leftovers in this case are going to be this one, A, B, A, B, A, B. So A times B. So in this case, the greatest common factor times the leftovers, the LCM here, is AB. So we're going to multiply by a factor of 1. A times B over A times B. What happens when we distribute? When we distribute to the 1 over A, the A's cancel, and I'm left with just the B. When I distribute to the 1 over B, the B's cancel, and I'm left with plus A over. And the same thing in the denominator. I multiply in, the A's cancel, and I'm left with just the B minus the B's cancel, and I'm left with just the A. So since this one cannot be simplified any further for all intents and purposes, we are done. This is as simplified as it's going to get, and that is your answer. So that's the first method, is basically find the least common denominator for the entire expression for all denominators and multiply by the entire fraction by a factor of 1 and then simplify. Let's take a look at another example using the second method. The second method asks us first to add or subtract as necessary to get a single rational expression in the numerator, then do the same for the denominator. So here's the numerator, and the numerator says x plus the quantity 1 over 5. Well, in order to get that as a single quantity, I would have to find the least common denominator, and the least common denominator between x, or x over 1, and 5 is 5. So we would need to rewrite this. Let's multiply this one by a factor of 1. And now I can add, right? This is 5 times x, or 5x plus 1, all over 5. Now step 2 says add or subtract as necessary to get a single rational expression in the denominator. Okay, so basically same thing. We want to multiply by a factor of 1, in this case 3 over 3, so that we can have one single rational expression in the denominator. So 3 times x minus 1 all over 3. So essentially what we now have is 5x plus 1 over 5 divided by the quantity 3x minus 1 over 3. Alright, now this is just the division, right? This is just division, so we can rewrite that as this equals 5x minus 1 plus 1 over 5 divided by 3x minus 1 over, this part is done. Now it says divide the numerator by the denominator and then simplify if possible. So what do we know about division? Division is a fancy way of multiplying. The fancy way of multiplying with division is to take the reciprocal and multiply. 3x minus 1. So we will just really, our goal here will be to multiply that 3 times the quantity 5x plus 1 over 5 times that quantity 3x minus 1. And so we'll distribute. We'll distribute there, and we will get 15x plus 3 over the distribution of that to that, which would be 15x minus 5. And remember, you cannot simplify terms, you can only simplify factors, so that 15x and that 15x stay exactly as they are. So that's your answer.